Hello fellow fraggers, my name is Frag himself, and this is the third part of my event review mini-series in which I talk about every single event in FragProShooter and I sort of review them, give you some tips and tricks, and talk about how to get rich off of them, that sort of stuff. In this video, I'm solely going to be talking about the Champion Series and the Season Grand Finale, which are similar events. And as usual, we're gonna talk about this event and I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks and really what I think of this event. In this video, I'm also gonna give you 5 different decks of 25 different cards that you can play if you have every single card in the game or somewhere close to that to be very successful in this event, in my opinion. So let's get into it. The goal of this event is to make you play as many cards as possible in different games. After you play with certain cards, you will have to wait a while after you play them again because as you can see here, they are going to take some more time to heal back into being able to be used. You can also heal your cards using health packs that you can get either from buying, which I don't recommend, or from the wheel that you can spin every 12 hours, which is usually where you would get your health packs. Of course, off of that wheel, you can get some trophies that will go into giving you some rewards from the trophy road, or you can also get some gems or maybe some joker cards, which is very nice, but you're probably not gonna get the gems, to be honest. I don't think I've gotten those gems at any point, but yeah, I probably haven't. The reward of this event is really not that much. I would say pretty much the only way to get something really good is to get into the top 100, where you can get a decent amount, like 1,000 tickets from the season grand finale, and I think it's not as much in the champion series 1, 2 and 3, or 0, 1 or 2. And I'm gonna tell you, like, getting to that top 100 may be the hardest thing in any challenge, or maybe it takes the most amount of work, because you're gonna have to play as many cards as possible frequently and get a lot of battle streaks or win streaks, because if you win enough games in a row, you can get a decent multiplier of trophies, which are the things that you collect in this event to go up in the reward bar down below. Now, the rewards that you can see here are season XP, which is usually, I would say like, it's never really useful because you're probably going to complete your season pass anyway and get all of the rewards. That's usually what I do during most seasons, except now because I've not played the game like 2 weeks, half of the season. Now, I should say that if you get over 5,000 tickets from this event, you can get 1,000 joker cards, which I've done a few times, but you really need to grind this event if you want to go there. Well, depending on the event, of course, I'm talking about Grand Finale, which I'm playing right now, you need to get 1,000 trophies every day, which, I mean, doesn't sound that crazy, especially to people that grind a lot, but it's a lot, especially in this event, because you need to play many different decks, and let's say you get 50 per win. It takes 20 games with 5 different cards every game. Doesn't really make sense. I mean, of course, you're gonna have to use this battle streak bonus, like 4 times the bonus definitely helps. Sometimes you can get like 200 trophies in one game just because of the challenger mechanic, and the challenger mechanic, by the way, doubles your amount of trophies every game that you play against someone that is higher level trophy than you, like I think 1,000, 2,000 over you, something like that. But yeah, all that to say that the rewards are not that great. Most of the rewards you get from this event, I would say, if you're not going for the top 100, is the trophies that you get, because if you grind this event quite a bit, you can get trophies much more efficiently, and that's really useful, especially for me. I would say that I use this a lot to get to 20,000 trophies every season. That's like, without that I probably wouldn't get there playing the same time on Frag. So again, rewards are not that great compared to the challenges I've talked about before. It's not that bad, but it's really not that great. So, well, to add to that, I would say maybe it's not rewards, depend on how you look at it, but you can get chests from these events. Like if you play games online in the season grand finale, you can for sure get some good chests in your chest area down here, which is really nice. Yeah, when the season grand finale or the champion series are running, which is, well, the weekend, I get my chest from these events, and I pretty much never play online anyway, because I either play that or the 2v2 payload and street frag challenges. So that's it for the rewards, and now the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video are the 5 decks that I would recommend you to play to get a lot of value out of this event. Because of course, we're all comfortable with at least 1 or 2 decks in Frag. We can play a few cards, but being able to play different cards is definitely matters in this event. But right before we get into that, I just want to get the ranking out of the way. It's really not great rewards. It's also an average level of fun. I don't want to say that it's like so crazy, so fun, because it's really just playing online, so it's not boring, but it's not really like crazy fun either. It takes a long time to get to the top 100 also, so I don't want to say that it takes no work to really get rewards in this challenge. So that's why I think it's a C tier, and I really only play because it can give me chest, and it also gives you some more trophies, which is, it's nice, but it's not that crazy if you compare it to other events. So with all that said, I place it in C tier. I'd like to know what you think in the comments, if you agree with that or not. But with that said, now let's finally get into the 5 decks that I would recommend to play in this challenge. Number 1 deck is inspired by one of my old Fragging Fridays videos. So if you know what video I'm talking about, definitely tell me in the comments. I'm curious to see who will get the answer first. But that deck is going to be Boss, Sombrero, Archon, Hannibal, and Red Shadow. In this deck, you're really going to want to main Archon. That's been one of my favorite cards for a long time in Frag. You can really get some good value out of him. I like to combine him with Sombrero because Archon can get lots of kills, and that works well with Sombrero, that spawns bombs every time you kill someone. That's really what I like to do with this deck. You know, just focus on kills. You also got some 2 great AI cards with Red Shadow and Hannibal that are really good at getting kills. So you really go aggressive with this deck, and it should work for you. Look at that, just got some Sombrero bombs already. Now of course I'm playing against like a bot, so you know that's probably not the best example for in-game, but you know it should give you a little bit of an idea how to play this deck, I guess. I mean, I guess like Archon is pretty fragile at the end of the day compared to like some of the new cards, but it should work. You also got the boss in the defense, which, I mean, if you need some good damage, you got him in the back, so that's very nice. You got the boss in the defense, Sombrero getting the bombs, some strong attack AI, and finally Archon to finish it off. If you want to play like a super strong card, you got Archon. If you don't have him or you don't like him, of course you can switch to any other card you're comfortable. It should work for you, as long as it's a card that you can get lots of kills with. If it's a card that you like to rush bunkers with, I probably would not use Sombrero, but I'll give you some more ideas with the following decks. Now the next deck we are going to talk about is well, it's a certain synergy deck, I guess you can call it, because we have AO and Izuna in there. I know Izuna has been nerfed recently, and she's definitely not as good as she used to be, but she's still decent, don't get me wrong. And if you give her a good deck, like a good companions in her deck, she can do some work. So the deck is going to be, of course, Izuna and AO, but you're also going to have Scrapper in there with Dolby and Ronin. So that's actually like such a strong defense, guys. Dolby is like, I got him at level 7 right now because I don't really use him that often. Maybe I should more, but that's where he is for me, and he can defend very well. It's super hard to push when you got Dolby on your team because well, he's just gonna destroy every push pretty much. Like, it's kind of crazy. I think he's overpowered as an AI, to be honest. So that's why I really like this defense. It's pretty much unstoppable, and even if your push is not that strong, I guess it can definitely work. Like, if you're good at Izuna, especially if you have her 2 frag powers like me. Alright, so our next deck is going to be honestly one of my favorites for sure, and the reason why is because of this little guy right here, Sunny. Sunny is actually so fun to play. Like, one of my favorite cards right now for sure, and definitely underrated even though people think he's very good. So this deck is going to be comprised of your Queen Unicorn, very standard defensive card, very good AI, and I like to combine her with Soldatron for a little reason I'll explain later. And with that, you will get a Wave in there. Wave is definitely one of the best attacking AI right now, and you know, if you want, even, I don't know if he's gonna get nerfed soon, maybe, but I think he's still gonna be good after that. So honestly, like, I would still use him anyway. And after that, you got the Takeshi to finish it off. So you'll notice, first of all, that all of these cards, none of them are gonna repeat. Like, you're gonna have 25 different cards in this video. And thing is, they're all good, so you can play them, you can switch them around if you want. Like, it doesn't really matter, as long as you like playing them and you think they're balanced. Like, I honestly try always to go for two defensive cards, 3 offensive cards. But if you want to try different things, you're free to go for it. The thing is, the game is comprised of pretty much like 40% defensive cards and 60% offensive cards, as you would expect, because, you know, there's 5 types of cards, 2 types are defensive, 3 types are offensive. So I guess that's what you would expect. That's why I try to go for this type of like ratio for defensive cards and offensive cards in my deck, because you can get to play like an optimal amount of cards. Because obviously I don't think there's 25 good offensive cards. So if you want to go 5 offensive cards for like 1 deck, that can work, but for 5 decks, maybe not. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. But to be more specific about this deck in particular, well, the reason why I like it, of course, you got Sun in there. I like to main him, and probably have not done that enough in this video. But if he dies, you got, as you can see here, Takeshi, which is still definitely in the top 10 best mains to this day. So you can definitely do some wreckage with that. You got also Wave, which is amazing. So it's a really, really strong offense. And I'd say the weakness in this deck is probably Soldatron. I don't think Soldatron, I think he's good, but I don't think he's as good as people say he is. The reason why I play him in this deck, especially combined with Queen Unicorn, is because what you will see works with Queen Unicorn and Soldatron is that Queen Unicorn slows enemies down in a radius, and Soldatron sometimes can, it definitely does increase the likelihood of your Soldatron hitting his shots if you do use Queen Unicorn with Soldatron. So yeah, that's why I use this deck. Very fun. And now for the 4th one, we're gonna have also a very strong deck. They're all very strong decks, so I don't know why I even bother saying it. What I want to do with this deck is to main Duality. Duality, I don't know if it's gonna be fixed soon or not, but she's gotten a glitch with her sniper that just allows her to do so much damage. Like, it's kind of insane. So you don't really have to use your second main fire, just your sniper, and it should work pretty well. Now, it is pretty hard to hit, of course. I'm having trouble right here. But once you do build her essence up, it's kind of just dumb, the damage she can do. So that's why I run her. In the defense, you got Sogeki and Lily. Sogeki is kind of an AI card. I really rarely play her, but Lily can be really strong if you want to switch to her. Like I guess Marco Pollo, you would. Look at that. She's dead 1 shot, by the way. Like, Duality's damage is insane now. But yeah, Lily is really fun to switch to if you're in trouble. Just go grab her, use your ult on your enemy, and they should die. Like, just like that. It should be enough to kill them. So Geki is also gonna help with her AI to just get rid of you. And as a push, you got Darius and Tankbot. Both of them are really good offensive cards, so I'd be very comfortable playing them. And even if my Duality dies, I got Darius, I got Lily. So of course, Duality is kind of an unpredictable card. It's easy to kill her, but she can also do so much damage. As you can see here, I'm dead. Really didn't have a chance, to be honest. So I guess that's pretty much it for this deck. You can see it's probably gonna work for you. There's so many good cards that you can play in there, and they're all also decent AI. So oh my god, that's a weird glitch. So I guess that's one that you really don't have to worry about who you're playing. That's pretty much it for this deck. Let's move on to our next one. And our final deck now. Our final deck, I guess, is for all of you Stella mains out there. Of course, well, I don't really like to play Stella, so I don't use her. But I got Crystal instead. But I guess since a lot of people play Stella, I'm gonna think of you guys and do a Stella deck kind of. But I'm gonna play Crystal instead. She's definitely not as good as Stella. Yeah, if you prefer Stella, definitely go ahead and use her. So I got this deck now. I got Marco Pollo and Shinobi in the defense. I've sort of started liking them, and the reason for that is Marco Pollo is a really good defensive card. So since Shinobi is not that good of a defensive card, he's almost sort of offensive. It definitely works to have Marco Pollo in the back with Shinobi. Don't get me wrong, Shinobi is a really good card, but you sort of need stronger defense if you want to have something reliable in the back while you're pushing. So as you can see here, I decided, of course, to main Crystal or whatever card you want to play with this deck. I got my Hunter, the offense, and Lucha. So both of these cards are really good offensively. You got Hunter. Hunter is definitely, I wouldn't say he's as good as Lucha, but he can do some damage. As you can see here, like, it's definitely working. I think it's I'd say that's Lucha that's over there. Yeah, Lucha can usually outlive your Hunter, but it definitely works. If your Stella or your Crystal dies, you can switch to your Hunter and you can defend if you want. It's really easy to play this deck, I would say. You got also Marco Pollo, so it's kind of a safe deck. It's nothing crazy in there. I think most of these cards are decently easy to play. Yeah, you can have lots of fun with this one. So that's pretty much all there is to say about the 5 decks that I would recommend. Of course, you can listen to what I've said in this video and sort of get an idea of which cards should be together and which card it really doesn't matter. But I think most of the cards in these decks can be switched together. If you want to have 4 offensive cards instead of 3, you can probably just, if you want, switch Shinobi with like Wave if you want in this deck. And if you only want to play 4 decks instead of 5, like I usually try to play 5 decks at a time or something, which I guess explain why I did 5 decks in particular in this video. But if you want to use 4 decks or 3 decks, you can condense all of your best cards into 3 decks, 4 decks. Also, one thing I should say, add to that, is since your common cards or your rare cards will respawn, or they will heal, like I should say, much faster, there are times where you should definitely play like only common cards or only like common and rare cards, like let's say like 4 hours after you play your 3-4 games in this event. You can play, if you want, games with only like common cards and rare cards. So I guess that's where you go in and decide which of these cards you want to play together. But I mean, I guess for an idea of a decent common and rare card deck, I'd put Scrapper in there. Scrapper and Dolby, very good. You can have Takeshi in there, even Big Paku if you want. Like, I've not mentioned Big Paku in this deck, but in this video, but I really love Big Paku because he responds, like, he heals so quickly and decent attack AI. You can main Darius if you want in this deck, and Hunter as another attacking AI. That's a really strong deck, so you can go for that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope I see you in the next one, in which I'm going to be talking about the Frag Power challenges and the new card challenges. So next one in this mini series is going to be about that. Again, hope you guys like this video, hope you learned a few things, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.